How's it going, guys? And welcome back to Retrospect, your go-to retro gaming podcast. You're listening to episode 31. Today we'll be talking about plans for the podcast, what we've been up to, and of course, what we've been playing. So this is new for us. This is our first episode back. And so we have the founder of RetroDodo himself, the beast, Brandon Saltalamacchia. Is it Saltalamacchia? I need to make sure I get that right, actually, before I introduce you.
Correct. Because it reads like a chia, but actually the Italians say Kia. So perfect.
Yes. I don't even have to reintroduce that part. That's great. Okay, so Brandon, why don't you go ahead and tell folks who you are and, just all about RetroDodo and what we're doing here.
Yep, so so technically, as you know, this is episode 31 of the Retrospect podcast. We've been going for a couple of years now, but me being me, I just couldn't keep up with it. That's why Jake here, we'll introduce Jake. Jake's, again, another absolute beast in terms of podcast stuff, so he's going to keep me in check, and hopefully I want to see triple digits. I want to see episode 100. I want this to go as far as possible. See, I'm already going off the subject.
That's okay. You're giving a little teaser into what's to come. That's great.
But yeah, I'm the founder of RetroDodo. We founded in 2019. I did it out of my own pocket on a little bit of just part-time money. I think, technically speaking, I made it on like 250 quid. And I just kept reviewing stuff, making videos, playing with Game Boys, pissing about. And now here we are. We've got a team of 4 freelancers. We've got Jake now on board doing the podcast stuff. And hopefully in a few months, we'll have a video guy as well. So we're growing quite quickly. We basically want to be... I don't like mentioning their names, but I want RetroDodo to be the IGN of retro gaming, ideally. And all as an independent publication. Like, no investors, just we do what we want, kind of when we want. And ain't nobody telling us what to do.
That could be our slogan at the top, the IGN of retro gaming. I think they wouldn't mind. They wouldn't mind if we just use their name.
I already smell a cease and desist there.
Please stop.
Yeah.
Well, and also, I think this is something cool. So you also, prior to RetroDodo, have done a few other side projects. So you tell people a little bit about the van project, or van life / that whole era where you were kind of hustling and running around filming these really cool camper van setups and stuff like that.
Wow, I'm surprised you remembered this, man. Great knowledge.
I did my research.
So I guess that's where RetroDodo kind of founded. I created back, it must have been like 2017. I was well into my camper vans, so started making camper van content on YouTube, and I built a website alongside it. And I could see that I've been on YouTube for years, and it's always been a struggle keeping up with trends, and the revenue from it is tiny. I think they were giving me like $3 to $5 per 1,000 views. And at one point, I'm like, this is great. This is lovely. Whoop-de-doo. Then started building websites, and I was getting between $20 and $40 per 1,000 readers. So part of me was like, holy shit, like this is completely 2 different ball games. What if I combine them both? And I did that with the van life stuff. And then someone wanted to buy it while the pandemic started, and we were a bit tight on money. So we kind of had to sell it to keep me and my partner afloat. But a bit of that money kind of went into me being able to leave my job and then go on to Dodo for a bit. Yeah, that's kind of where the transition to building a site and a brand came from originally, because I saw the magic in it when I was building the van life site. Now I get to do it for a living, and it's just incredible what we've built, really.
It really is. And that's I think if anyone wants to know about Brandon, that's like something you should understand is he's a builder. And I think that's, brief introduction, I guess, to myself as well. I met Brandon, I guess like almost a year ago, where we were talking more about like copywriting and SEO stuff. I think you had initially were reaching out to some people to, again, add to the team. And I was like, hey, I do this on the side, but it's something that, I don't do as often, and I think we got connected initially that way. And then over time, I've just seen more and more of your content you've been putting out. It's been super impressive. And it's been fun to see how much you've grown and really how just well you've done it. It's a testament to sort of what you care about. I think you put out a tweet a while ago that was like, hey, AI is coming out and it's kind of a mess and I don't like what I'm seeing. But really the secret to success is hiring people and making sure that they like do good work. And like, that's all I care about is like good work. So props to you and congrats on that. And yeah, thanks for bringing me on to do this. And I guess I should tell people a little bit about myself. I've just been doing a side hobby podcast with a bunch of my friends here in old Chattanooga, Tennessee. Brandon's in Bath, the UK, yep. Right? So I am in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I am 5 hours behind. So it is 6:30 a.m. right now as we're recording this.
Man, I thought 11:30 was bad here, but you getting up, cracking on the pod, that's what I love about you, man. You hustle.
That's right. Oh, yeah. The hustle mindset only, dude. That is not true. I'm a dad, so I'm used to waking up very early anyways. This is life. But yeah, I've been doing podcasting for a while, just as a hobby on the side, and I've always dreamt of doing something in the industry more like this, and so this is a really exciting first step, and I don't want to talk too much about myself, so I think we should just jump into the actual topic of the show.
One thing I want to cut into there is that Jake is incredibly talented at building podcasts. You made one called Bit Bloggers you were doing with friends, was incredibly high production value. He has the voice of a god, like it's incredibly majestic. I could listen to it all day.
Stop it.
Listening to it on a Monday at 11:30 just kicks off my week, man. And I also feel like I need someone to keep me in check, and I think Jake's going to do that very well, like getting me on the podcast as much as possible, setting times, getting guests and stuff. And I think we're going to make a cool little duo here and take Retrospect podcast to the next level.
The next level. And we're only going to get better. We're only going to get better, guys. So if you're listening right now and you're like, I don't know, these guys are spending a lot of time talking about this, just wait, okay? Just wait. We're getting really into this. We have a ton of stuff to show you. But real quick, before we jump into our topic, I did want to mention we are sponsored by a Handheld History 88 to 95. So, Brandon, you want to tell folks quickly about this beautiful coffee table book?
Absolutely. So if you're listening to this, we're recording this a bit before our crowdfunding campaign launches. So we built a Handheld History last year. It was a topical book, a coffee table book about the history of handhelds, but now we're diving deeper into a very specific time frame, which is 1988 to 1995. And for those of you that are savvy with your handhelds, that's the Atari Lynx, the Sega Game Gear, and the birth of the Game Boy DMG. Three incredible handhelds. We're going to dive deeper into the hardware, the games, the developers, and the accessories, all in I think it's going to be well over 300 pages. We've got some incredible artists. We've got big names like Ashens and stuff involved. So it's going to be another cracking piece of physical content for everyone to grab should they be interested in handhelds.
Yeah. Game Gear. That is a funny mention. Did you ever have a Game Gear, Brendan?
Oh yeah, it was one of the, I think it was actually the first handheld I remember growing up as a kid, and I've got it here. If you're listening and watching to our video podcast on YouTube, it's beautiful. You can see it. Oh, it's just a thick boy. It resembles me in every way. Colorful, thick, rounded, and something else.
Please don't put that on your profile. Don't lead in with that one. I'm like a Game Gear. Thick, colorful, and wonderful. I think so yeah, I remember the Game Gear blowing my mind because it was the first LCD, like backlit LCD screen, and my brother got one. He traded in all his Game Boy stuff to get a Game Gear, actually, which maybe was a mistake because there weren't that many games for the Game Gear.
Yeah.
And I remember that battery life was crazy. We would literally just sit like next to the wall, like plugged into our Game Gear because we had the adapter, so we could actually play for longer. What a beautiful time. I think it takes, what was it? Let me look here. 6 AA batteries. Man, I remember the back of my car just being filled, or back of my dad's car just being filled with them. I think he single-handedly kept Duracell alive back in the late 90s. Our poor parents just like trying to keep life afloat, and there's just batteries rolling around in the back of the car. Like, what is this? That's awesome. Well, also, yeah, if you are tuning in, be sure to check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, and of course, YouTube, like Brandon mentioned. This will be on all podcast services outside of those as well, if you prefer like Overcast or Stitcher or anything like that. But like I said, we're just getting rolling, and they should already be on there because this has been a podcast for a while now. But this is the rollout officially for the YouTube channel. So exciting stuff. Go ahead and subscribe and jump on that. So let's jump into topic 1, the revamp, as we're calling this, or the relaunch. I don't know if there's a better word, but I liked revamp. How do you feel about that word, revamp?
Yeah, revamp's good.
It's a good one. So, yeah, I guess to just start this off, this is a different episode. We wanted to get more into the weeds of what this podcast is going to be. And so, Brandon, I'll kind of let you start first because you kind of gave us this mission statement, and I think it's great. But I think opening up to like what this podcast is going to be.
Yeah, I think as life moves forward, people are starting to work from home. The evolution of the podcast is getting far more popular, and it's a way for us to strengthen our goal at RetroDodo, that is to give you updates on retro gaming news and products. And we do that currently in written form. We've got 4 very talented freelancers that are continuously keeping our website up to date. You've got me and potentially someone else on top of the video side of things soon. As much as we don't do news there, we like to keep it very product focused because I feel like people need to see a product being tested. Whereas news, I think you can read and hear about it and probably won't need to see the exact material. So I think one thing that this podcast will strengthen is us giving out news about retro stuff, insights, opinions, entertainment, and product reviews through an audio form and video form now, I guess, because we're going to be on YouTube. Two birds, one stone. One stone,
that's
two
right.
birds.
That's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna bring the products to your ears. You're gonna hear about it. I think that's a great thing. And then also, I've noticed like a big uptick in like the retro gaming space in general. There's a lot more of us that are getting older as time works, and I think a lot of us are sometimes pining for the days of yore where we actually get to think about the Game Boys and the games that just brought us into the world of the video game world, essentially. And so I think, nostalgia is something also that's like really coming back. You can call it retro gaming, nostalgia, that kind of stuff. But there's something fun about thinking about some of those early machines and what they're able to accomplish. Just covering some of those favorites from the days gone by, I think will be a fun time. So looking forward to all of that.
And I've got a few friends still into like the retro gaming stuff, but we don't get around enough. So I feel like us creating an audio space where it just feels like a few friends from around the world talking about nostalgic stuff is just a cool way to, have on in the background while you're working. You're on that long drive, grab a cup of tea, a craft beer, and come join us talking about cool shit.
I love it, dude. You should write ads, man. You should write ads. This is great. This is great. And also another big part of this podcast we wanted to be clear about is, we're building this. We're obviously going to be running through. We have many, many cool episodes in the hopper already planned and some cool guests that are going to be jumping on. But we would love to hear back from the audience. So please do reach out to us, write into us. We'll mention that at the end of the show where you can write into, but we're on Twitter. So definitely we'll have that as well at the end of the show. But we want to hear your feedback on what you would like to see from the show, what kind of stuff you'd like us to add, remove. We're all ears, no pun intended. And I think that would be a good way to build a podcast based on the community first. I know that's something, Brandon, you probably would agree with as well. So I don't know. Any of your thoughts on how we want community to be involved? Because there's the Spotify side where you can write in polls. We can kind of go whatever direction you want.
Yeah, that's interesting. You say obviously we want to be very community driven, but when you said that, just maybe like getting in the community. I know we're going to get in guests, but it'd be really cool to get in RetroDodo readers or community members if they've got a really cool topic to talk about. Like, I don't know, maybe your granddad designed the Game Gear button, like a button, something really weird. If you've got like a story like that, or a feature, or you've got a really weird experience within retro gaming, like just email in, and if you want to hop on, yeah, let's try it. I think that'd be kind of cool.
You saying that granddad designed the Game Gear button, that reminds me of like, how like kids would just lie about their dad working at Nintendo or something like that. Like, oh yeah, my dad works for Nintendo, or like, yeah, my uncle works for Nintendo. There was a kid in my neighborhood growing up. His dad actually worked for Technicolor, and there was like that weird crossover with Technicolor and Game Boy where they were like doing some games publishing, but my friend never got any games from his dad, and I thought that was like such a waste. I'm like, dude, your dad works for Technicolor and you're not getting any Game Boy games? I was like, what are you doing right now?
Imagine if he had some sealed ones now still. Like, oh, yeah, still got a box of Pokemon sealed in the garage.
It would have been amazing. But alas, that was a wasted friendship. I'm sure he thinks about that daily as well. Yeah, and I think other details too for everyone, we're planning to release on Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 12 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Is that correct?
Greenwich something time, yeah.
Greenwich GMT. You should know this. This is your time zone, dude.
I should. That's so bad.
So it's 5 hours ahead. So yeah, 7 a.m. Eastern Time, 12 p.m. GMT. So you can be listening on your lunch break. If you're in the UK, you can be listening right when you get to work. Basically, when you're heading out to work in the car, listen, or on the way home. And that would be a great way to hit the show on Wednesdays. I don't know, Brandon, did you want to give an idea of people we have lined up just coming down the road? And I'll talk about some of our topics. We have just kind of some ideas we're looking at.
I think the goal is to get in other creatives in the retro gaming space. That could be influencers, journalists, potentially developers, and so on. We have a couple of people that you may know. One is Bob Wolf, very well known in the Nintendo space. He has agreed to come on. We've got Russ from Retro Gamer Corps, who's become like the authority in retro handhelds and emulation stuff. He's agreed to come on. We've got a couple of other big dogs as well. So now I've put them on the spot. They're going to have to come on now. We'll tag them in this. Yeah. We need to come up with, I think, dates and stuff, because as much as I'm a rookie at this. As very much as me and Jake can organize a time, if the guest can't come on at that time, which is 7 a.m. in the morning, we have to work around that. I'm busy. Jake's a father. He works as well. So this is a learning curve for both of us when we're getting guests on. But I can assure you, there's some big names coming up that you wanna tune in for.
Yeah. And some of the topics that we're already thinking about, we built out a list of just some fun ideas. So obviously we want to talk a little bit about the Handheld History book that you published. I don't know how many years ago now. Was it a year ago? Essentially, was it last year? Year and a bit. Just go over that and just how that came to be kind of a fun discussion. I think the hidden gems of retro gaming, we have some stuff related to that, obviously. The best game soundtracks of all time, ranking those things. Emulation as a whole, I think, is something we need to talk about, because I don't think a lot of people understand that. There's a lot of like tape around emulation, and I think you obviously are a person that's super well, experienced in that area. So I think talking about that and letting people know about the beautiful world that's out there. And you'll mention it in what you've been playing, but you're playing on an Ain Odin, and I have a Miu Mini, and so we both have some emulation stuff going on. And I think
you got a Miu Mini, hey?
I did. I got it before they went
nice.
Hardcore out of stock. Yeah.
Nice. They're releasing, by the time this goes up, they would have released the Miu Mini Plus, which is a little bit bigger. And I think that's going to be a really, really good handheld, actually.
Yeah. I love the Miu Mini because it's just small enough you can just throw it in your pocket. The only thing I'll say is you can't really play a lot of like Twitch-based games on it. You can't play I was trying to play Minish Cap initially on that, and it uses the L and R buttons a lot, and I was like, this is like, my hands are already huge, and I'm just like doing this the entire time, like So on the YouTube video, you'll see my hands. They're clammed up really tight. It's not great. But yeah, like just looking back at N64 stuff, SNES stuff, GameCube, anything really that I don't know what is considered retro We need to define this, actually.
Oh man, that could be an episode in itself. I'm going to say something that will probably shock you. I actually think it goes up to the Wii U. I think that's retro. PS3, probably not retro. And I think a lot of people would argue that I'm going too modern.
Yeah, the Wii U is... So some people say 3 console generations back. I've heard that. Like 3 back from where we are right now. So the Wii U would not be it. Would not be what people would consider retro at this time. But yeah. I like it. We can make it whatever we want it to be. So I think that's totally fine. And then dream goals. I think this is a fun one. Brandon, what is your dream goal for Retrospect by the end of 2023?
Just a fun, community-driven. You know what? I'm going to say the best retro gaming podcast. Period. I don't know how hard that's going to be. Like, I don't really keep an eye on competitors. I know we've got a few. But like, I don't know what that means in terms of views. But just when someone goes retro gaming podcast, they see mine and your ugly faces. That's it. Win. Hey, that's our goal.
No pressure at all. That's great. Just the best retro gaming podcast. Yeah, no problem. Easy to achieve. Can't wait. For me, I think a dream goal would be, we get Miyamoto on the podcast, and he's here to talk to us about how he made Mario. I think that would be great. Yeah.
Damn.
But so if that doesn't,
you're thinking like a businessman now. Like the amount of attention that will get us. Yeah. Damn. I chose the right guy to run this show.
That's probably not going to happen. I'm just going to go ahead and say that to cover myself. But also, yeah, like what you were saying, I think I wanted this to be a. Forgive me. I would love for this to be just a really fun community space for a lot of people to engage and send in their memories and just talk about video games. We're having fun here. We're talking about video games. There's not much really else that we need to be doing on our end to make this fun. So we hope that you guys have fun. I think that's the ultimate thing. And then yes, maybe the best retro gaming podcast. That would be ideal.
You said sending in memories. Like that's another great feature. Like if we read off one, community's story or nostalgic memory, like that's cool. That's the kind of stuff that would make me cry on camera, man. Get me right in the feels. Because there's some stories out there, like even for the book, a couple writ for the first Handheld History, and they were deep. You realize like how sentimental retro gaming can be to a lot of people.
And I think that's another good topic idea. Like why is handheld gaming so impactful? Why is retro gaming so impactful? Because I think I was reading someone's story in a Handheld History about how it's a lot of people's first introduction to gaming because it's more affordable and it's your own world. It's like your own little space that you can go to. That maybe if you're sharing a console with your siblings or your family, it doesn't feel as connected. So there's something about that. There's something cool about, the connection people feel to certain handhelds and or just consoles in general. So I love that. I think that's great. Well, closing out here, we do want to talk a little bit about video games. So, Brandon, I want to know, what are you playing?
So a couple of games, actually. I just bought HiFi Rush off a whim for the Aya Neo 2. In fact, Aya Neo actually emailed me yesterday saying, where the hell is our review? And I totally forgot. For those watching on the video podcast, I'm holding the Aya Neo 2 now. It's probably the fastest portable handheld PC on the market. Costs like $1,000. It's crazy. Ooh. But HiFi Rush ran silky smooth on that thing. The game's incredibly fast paced. It's designed like a comic. It was pretty cheap as well. I think it was like £20 But it is a small game. I think people were saying 8 hours, so I might be like halfway through it. But it's just standard like kick-ass combat with a boss. Your next chapter, you learn some more kick-ass move, another boss. But the world they've built is incredibly colorful. It's very immersive and just fun. You know when sometimes you pick up a game and you go, "Damn, this is too serious for a Sunday," yes. on the sofa.
Yes.
And I feel like HiFi Rush is just the perfect handheld game at this moment in time. I don't stress about it. I don't have to like concentrate. I just kick ass and chew bubble gum.
And it's rhythm based, right? So you have good rhythm if you're able to chain together combos. That's what it's all about, right? It's like music and combat.
I thought I was good at the whole rhythm making because when I was a child, I used to play the drums. But actually, after playing HiFi Rush, terrible. But
it doesn't translate as easily to combat. But I play drums too. A little fun little fact. So there you go. Another commonality. Wow.
Two drummers.
Look at two drummers just making a podcast. Let's make a drumming podcast next. That'll be great. And you're playing.
What about you?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I am playing Minish Cap via Nintendo Switch Online. I don't know. Are you a subscriber to NSO?
Yeah. So with work, I like try and dive into things, and then I've got stuff that pulls me back out of it pretty quickly. But I did buy the online just because of the Game Boy Advance games.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is what I've been waiting for. Honestly, N64 games was a huge win as well. I mean, really, the NSO service they're building, if they keep on adding more and more games to it, I feel like this is really what's going to keep people on Nintendo platforms forever. If they just keeps updating
people away from emulation as well, something Nintendo don't want people to do.
Right. Because, I mean, honestly, the reason I was holding out for the longest time, or like looking to a Mii, was like, dude, I can't play these Game Boy games. They're so expensive. They're so hard to find. And, you know, they finally released them. So I was like, oh, great. And I was mentioning earlier, I couldn't play Minish Cap on the Mii because it was too small. I am crushing the Minish Cap right now. I think I've almost finished it. I have all 4 elements. And so now I'm like in the last castle about to make things happen. So I don't want to spoil anything for anyone that's kind of going through it right now. But it's great, man. I don't know if have you played Minish Cap?
No, I haven't.
So I mean, it's a traditional harken back to the old top-down Super Nintendo Zelda games. It looks beautiful, but there's a fun mechanic where you can shrink down, kind of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids style, and go into different little small segments. And it's awesome, man. I think it's one of the better Zelda like top-down at least games that I've played in a long time. You know, A Link Between Worlds on 3DS was the last one I played like this, and so good, man. So very happy to have it finally in my belt as one that I've finished and or played. And yeah, I'm looking forward to Metroid Prime Remastered next. I don't know if you've picked that up or not either, but it looks so good. I want the physical version, but it's impossible to find.
Yeah, I heard a lot of scalpers have been involved with that. So our guides writer, Emma, has been doing loads of guides on Metroid Prime Remastered. She's done a couple of videos on it as well for guides, and it does look good. Like, oh yeah, you know, it's a nostalgic revamp that does everything right. I think it's easy for newcomers as well. I think you do have to tweak the settings a little bit, but yeah, looks crispy.
The music in that game, I cannot wait. And also, I wanted to mention this. You're playing Deadius?
Yes. I don't know how. Yeah, we had this conversation before. I say Dadius, but it actually spells like Deadius.
We'll ask the developers. We'll get them on the podcast to talk about it. How do you pronounce this game?
So it's developed by Incubate Games. They're also a sub company of Retro Modding. Retro Modding sponsors is the official sponsor for our second book. So I went over to Canada and saw them for a couple of days, and they showed me around their factory, and they showed me 2 games. One was Dadius, and the other was Infinity, which isn't out yet. But it's what Incubate Games do is basically allow creatives to push their Game Boy games into physical form. Obviously, Incubate Games takes a cut, but they'll do everything. They'll develop the game cartridge, they'll make the manual, they'll design the box, and they'll ship it out to customers. So it gives people without too much knowledge of how to develop games properly a chance to work with a company and get it out in physical form. Our writer, Anthony Wallace, is actually creating his own Game Boy game with them, which should be out at the end of the year. It's just a really... Like, I love companies that do that, you know, just give people the chance to make their dream a reality, and Incubate Games are doing that. And they did this with Dadius. It's about a kid who has nightmares and visions about a monster that keeps saying that the world is going to end in 3 days. And it's top down, a bit like Zelda. They've got some really cool characters, and it's your job to find out how to stop them, or or whatever it is.
Death. How to stop death. Yeah, well, I looked up the page for it. It looks really cool. We'll have it in the show notes for you guys to check out. But it looks really, really neat. And yeah, you mentioned it looks like a top-down Zelda. It also gave me some Pokemon vibes with like the character styles and stuff like that. It just looked really interesting. That all like green kind of aesthetic. Beautiful.
I'm playing that in the Analog Pocket as well. It's just
the
crisp,
pocket,
man.
The pocket.
Have you not got the Pocket?
So I'm a little embarrassed to mention this. All right. So I got a pre-order for an Analog Pocket, and I think it was going to ship like spring 23 is what it said. I was just in that window. And then I think when the NSO stuff came out, I was like, look, I don't know what I'm going to be playing on the Analog Pocket that I can't play on the Switch right now. I was like, so I'm going to go ahead and just hold off on that pre-order because I just think it'll be too much crossover to where I probably won't play it as much as I want to. So I canceled it. I canceled my pre-order, but I want one so bad. It looks so good.
It's so nice that I don't want to take it out, and it's quite expensive. Like if you drop this thing for the people on our video podcast, you can see Dadius in there.
It's gorgeous.
It's just a stunning premium console, but you drop that, GG. It's going to take some damage.
They literally sell a display case, like a nice plastic display case that you can sit the Analog Pocket inside of. Yes. So it's almost like they know people won't play it. They're like, just put it inside this beautiful display case on your shelf, just to look at. So one day, maybe for this podcast, so we can talk about it. I'll have it. Yeah. I'll have it as
get to 100 episodes and I'll buy you one. There's our 101th episode.
That's a goal right there. The Analog Pocket. Happy birthday. That's amazing. Well, awesome, man. That's really it. I don't know if there's much else we haven't covered yet. So I'll go ahead and close this out. I don't know if there's much else you wanted to say, Brandon, before I close this out.
I think this is a good amount of time for an episode. 30 to 45 minutes, I think, was our aim, right? Maybe even around 30. It's just nice to drop in, drop out. If you want more, as the weeks go by, we'll have a longer catalog of episodes to choose from and dive into. So hopefully you guys appreciate that this is a good amount of time for an episode.
Yeah, and of course, let us know if you would like it to be longer. Write into us. You can write to Brandon at RetroDodo.com, and he'll get that feedback pushed into the show, and we'll talk about it. Or again, check out our polls on Spotify. We'll have Q&A in there, so you can actually just write directly in the Spotify app if you want to. Like, oh, I love this episode, or oh, you guys should change or add this element, and then I think that'd be perfect. That would be awesome to hear back from you guys. But until then, we'll catch you in the next episode.
Ciao for now.
Bye. Adios. See you later.